What is going on, you guys? Got another video coming for you. This time it's all about the Mustang. So last time you guys saw, or last time we even posted on Instagram, this car had no interior, it had no roll cage, and there was no wheels and tires on it. It was pretty much just like still complete project mode. So recently we have gotten the let's say like half the interior in. We're waiting on some bucket seats to show up, but we did get the roll cage in, we got the carpet in, we got the back seats in. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that right now, and then we'll take a look at the wheels. So come on. So, like I guys told you, last time this car was even remotely in the area to drive, it had no interior in it whatsoever. It had no back seats, and it definitely did not have this roll cage in it, or roll bar. So, this is a piece I got from Maximum Motorsports over in San Luis Obispo. Really cool group of guys. Got this done just in time for Lake Tahoe last year. But as you guys know, we did not end up taking this car. So this cage, I keep calling it a cage, you call it a sports bar is what they call it. So this sports bar is completely bolt-in and technically completely reversible. You know, you do have to cut a little bit of your carpet to install it, but besides that, it fits really well. You're not gonna have people sit in the back anymore, obviously, once you put something like this in. But yeah, really nice piece. Fits really nice, still have plenty of room for the top to function. But yeah, really cool. So we got that in, we got the carpet in, which we didn't have previously in here. You can see he's got a pair of OMP race harnesses over there as well, and a planted seat bracket. Now if you guys are interested in any of those parts, I'll put a link in the description to the bracket, the roll bar, and the seat harnesses. But you guys noticed right when you looked in there, there's no shifter, because although we did get the interior in this car, the day we did drive it, we found that the engagement on the clutch just wasn't kind of working too much. The car was due for a new clutch already, so we decided, you know, you got your interior in, the car is pretty much dialed in. Like I said, we're waiting on a pair of bucket seats, and that's relatively it to drive it. So, you know, he was a little worried about driving it with the clutch that was so old, so we went ahead and we took out the shifter in preparation to take this entire transmission out. So that's for another video, but just to give you guys a heads up, this car is still going to go under the knife before Lake Tahoe. We're going to pull the transmission out. We got a brand new clutch from Exity. We got a brand new Lion flywheel from 5.0 Motorsports. We got a one-piece drive shaft going in this car. It's already geared, so we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, so that's gonna happen pretty soon here to the drivetrain. Really excited for that. You know, gonna be able to beat on this car a little bit more. But that's it for the inside, and for as far as for what the drivetrain is gonna get done to it. The only other thing I was gonna show was the new wheels. I mean, those are the same wheels that I had before, but trust me, these look a million times better. So let me show you these. Let me show you guys these real fast, and trust me, you're gonna be able to see. They're a little dirty, but you'll see just how shiny they are even from sitting out. So these wheels are pretty much almost exactly the same as what this car ran previously. They are 1892s. The only difference between these ones is these are 16 by 7s all around, which if you're anything, you know, if you know anything about Mustangs, it's kind of a hard set to find. They're made strictly for Salines, so you can see they're a lot bigger than like what the 15s were. Like I said, this was an option for a Saline Mustang back in the day. I think it was only produced for 2 years, and then after that they switched over to same design, still 16, but they went 5-lug. So he wanted to stay 4-lug for whatever reason. So we decided to hunt down a set of these. And for relatively cheap, if you can find them. The people who do have them know what they want. I've seen them go for $1,000, which is kind of ridiculous for a wheel made back in '85. But it is a super durable wheel. It takes a really good beating. How do I know? Because I've curbed one before. But yeah, and they're completely polished. So these wheels, go back to it, weren't this shiny from factory. Usually they came with like a polished lip and then a painted face. These we sent out to a local guy to us. We call him Dipshit. Now I think he's pretty much, he does refinishing just about anything. He'll do rebarrels, he'll polish lips, he'll powder coat faces, he'll repolish an entire wheel like that. You name it, if it's metal, he'll refinish it. So we sent these out to him about last year, right before Lake 2.0, and it took him, I think, about 8 weeks. He's a busy guy, so you know, I was willing to wait the time for him to bring us these back. Again, I love the way these look. You know, I wish they were on my car. They're not, and they're on Steve's. But yeah, about 8 weeks to turn around. You know, really tricky wheel to polish because of how many spokes it has, and they're not like a multi-piece wheel where you can just take them apart. But yeah, so got those on there. We put some brand new Bridgestone Potenzas on there. Nothing crazy, no R888 compound tires. Still a street car, you know, like to put a lot of miles on it. So yeah, all I think we're missing are these center caps. So we're looking for hopefully a nice set of center caps so we can hide this nasty ass center hub, and get a spacer for the front and rear. Again, you know, they're not that wide of a wheel. They have a really nice dish to them, but we would love if we could space this out just a little bit more, maybe like another inch, to really get that really nice fitment on this car. So yeah, no, just wanted to give you guys a quick update on the Mustang. Hopefully I can drop this clutch video soon for you guys. Like I said, we're super busy. Still haven't even gotten the 240 started. Actually, I'll show you guys real fast why this 240 still hasn't started. But we've just been kind of working here and there on this car. Again, you already know the drivetrain's done. We got a brand new hood because the other one flew off. But this car doesn't have a whole lot left before it's roadworthy. I would like to think that, you know, once the clutch is done and we get the seats in, which we're not going to let you guys know just yet what they are, but I'll tell you, they're pretty nice seats. Yeah, besides that, the seats and the clutch job, this car should be relatively good to go. I mean, as far as driving goes, I know it's still got some cosmetic flaws, you know, when the hood flew up. But besides that, you know, she's a solid runner. You know, Steve likes to beat the shit out of his cars, so we're going to make this car drive as well as we can, and then hopefully get, you know, paint and body done to it soon. You know, we all want to drive a nice car, but that costs a lot of money, and right now we're on a budget because we're college students, we're broke. So hopefully we can get this thing painted soon. You know, we just got those $1,400 stimulus checks, so maybe we'll spring a little bit of sauce right there. But besides that, you know, this car's kind of wrapping up as far as this stage of its build. Trust me, there's another stage which is a lot cooler, way doper shit, but until then, that's all this car's gonna have. Now let me get back to the 240 real fast. I wasn't gonna talk about it, but I already said it right there that it still hasn't turned on. So let me show you guys what I got for the car and why it still hasn't turned on. So let's check it out. Good S14. So the last time we talked about the car, I put a brand new ignition switch in the car. We thought that was what the issue was. We also fixed the wiring on the driver's side because, as you guys know, these cars have a tendency when they sit on really big wheels, even though I'm not that low, they like to rub the inner fender well where the harness is. So since then, I had Steve replace the wiring, not replace it, but repair what I had already messed up. We tucked it all the way up to the top right here, so there's zero chance of that rubbing on the fender or on the tire again. And we were kind of feeling that was the issue with the car. That was the main issue the first time, is why the starter wouldn't engage. So we fixed that. We replaced the ignition switch, but unfortunately that did not fix my starting problem. When we went to go crank the car after the ignition switch was replaced, we started to see a ton of smoke, and I kind of got scared a little bit. I was like, I thought the car was about to catch on fire, but it was coming from the starter. Turns out starter was on its last leg. It was just really just burnt out. Like it would crank, and then it would kind of stop, and then it give me 2 more cranks, and it just wasn't enough to get the car turned on. So I went out and bought a new starter, which I didn't want to buy just yet, but it is what it is. You know, car needs to run. I need to drive the car. So yeah, I'll show you guys the starter real fast. It is a Mishimoto. Excuse the mess, I know, I haven't moved this car in so long. So originally we were going to go with a ISR replacement starter. You know, it's their OE equivalent, and I was down. I think their starter shipped out is $200, which is a smoking deal, because back in the day you couldn't even get a starter for these SRs, in the States at least. So ordered it. Turns out it was back ordered until May. Now, I don't have that kind of time, you know, so I emailed Injuku back. They were kind enough to give me an option on other starters they had available, and they had a Mishimoto available, shipped right out of Arizona, even though they are in Florida. They get to my house in about 24 hours. So, huge shout out to those guys. Great customer service. They still made it happen in a reasonable amount of time. But yeah, so we went with a Mishimoto starter. I haven't heard a whole lot about, you know, Mishimoto as far as, you know, everyone knows Mishimoto for their cooling stuff, but I've never, you know, personally used them for, you know, replacement parts, especially not on a Nissan. But right out of the box, you know, looks really nice OEM finish, you know, nice and clean. I do wish that the little connector that they use for the starter wire was like the OEM one, where it actually clipped. These cars have a tendency to have that slip off, and I know you can just put a little zip tie on it and like just clip it on, but it's so ghetto. And Nissan made a really nice clip for it in the beginning. I kind of wish that's what they would have used, but you know, I guess it makes it a little more universal friendly, because you can just use a regular female connector for that. So yeah, so that's the starter. We are going to get that in hopefully. Today is Monday. You'll probably see this video tomorrow when it's done uploading, but hopefully I can get that starting tomorrow. And we also realized, I know it's gonna suck, I don't like to admit when I'm wrong, but when I went to go crank this car up the other day, even with the new solenoid in it, I put a little bit of coolant in there, and I did not bother to look underneath the car, and we were leaking coolant, which I'm so upset about, because these bottom mount manifolds are kind of a pain to put in, especially with the placement and the brake lines, and you know, it's just a nightmare. So I found that it was leaking from the turbo lines, not the ones that are hooked to the block, but the ones that actually are on the turbo. So let me just show you real fast. If I can do this one-handed, because I don't have a hood prop. The lines that go right there on top of the turbo, and then there's one below it. Those started leaking coolant the minute I started filling up the radiator. So kind of upset about that, you know, because that means that this, to do it right at least, this manifold and turbo have to come back out. I put them on pretty tight, but you know, I didn't put any Teflon on there or any pipe dope, you know, like the thread sealant. So, you know, everyone admits mistakes, you know, it's my fault, it's kind of whatever. So hopefully tomorrow, come home from work, I bust out taking the manifold out to disconnect the downpipe, disconnect the turbo lines, put the car in the back because I don't want to work in the street. Put thread sealant on the turbo lines. Pray to God that it's actually the fitting and not the stainless line that's got like a hole in it, which I doubt it because I just bought those. Yeah, just slap it all back together, put the new starter in. Maybe start it tomorrow. You know, I want to put everything in there and then kind of just double check it all before I fire up, because I don't know, for whatever reason, when I try rushing stuff like this, I have a bad habit of just wanting to turn it on and then I end up with like a million issues. So I'll probably get it all back together tomorrow, but I probably won't actually fire it up until Wednesday, which is fine. You know, I have plenty of time. But yeah, so that's what's up with the S14. Give you the Mustang update. But yeah, hopefully I'll come back to you with a video later in the week with that thing turned on, and then I'm going to do an update video on the Hyundai, on Derek's car. Recently been messing around with a little bit of the turbo stuff, so we'll see what's up with that later in the week. But till then, deuces, have a good one. We'll catch you guys later.